Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box. Welcome to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast, brought to you by the Hot Take Hot Box. We are here to recap everything that went down this past weekend in the fight world. We got a little bit of UFC Austin to discuss. We have Ryan Garcia standing on business and taking care of business against
featuring his new shoulder roll.
Yes, he's
that was ugly. I'm sorry, that was bad. He was getting grilled mid-fight, and I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, "This is really what we're doing." Ryan Garcia might be famous on TikTok, but he gets laughed at everywhere else. His promotion shitting on him 2 days before the fight is wild. He told Bernard Hopkins last time we saw him in the ring, he was getting knocked out of the ring by some white boy, and I was like, "Yo, what is going on at this press conference? The fight's in 2 days."
Don't get me excited bringing up Bernard Hopkins getting knocked out of the ring.
As soon as Ryan Garcia mentioned it, all I thought about was you.
He knocked out of the ring. Never forget Roy Jones. Dude, I was watching that live. I was like, "Oh, there's absolutely no way that just happened." And him just like all confused. They're helping him up. Max Kellerman's like, "They shouldn't be touching him." I'm like, "Oh my, boxing is incredible." But we got that, and then we have some BKFC to talk about. The king, the Mike Tyson of BKFC. No, not Mike Tyson. The Mike Perry of BKFC. That's right. Platinum Mike Perry shuts Eddie Alvarez's eye and walks away with a corner stoppage W this weekend. But we are going to get into all of it. And Ty consumed all of it for you people out there. He watched it all so that he could come in here and tell you guys what is what and who is who. First, though, we must get into the main event from this past weekend. Arman Tsarukyan taking out Beneil Dariush in 1 minute and 4 seconds. This is a card where I have never been more mad at myself than I'm thinking about walking away. And I think about it every day, but now I'm really thinking about retiring. I just don't know what I'm thinking sometimes. And I would have always bet Arman Tsarukyan in the past, but I'm just psyching myself out, betting Beneil Dariush. Beneil Dariush went to sleep like easy. Like it was almost like somebody sprayed NyQuil in the air, and he was like, "Wait, what was that?" And then boom, sleep time for Beneil. And he went right to sleep. He was probably thanking his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for putting him to sleep like that. Arman Tsarukyan gets 2 W's this weekend, once against him, once against Bobby Green, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But listen,
you went 0-2.
Mr. Tsarukyan, he's probably next, right? If it's not Oliveira or if it's not this guy or that guy, it's Arman Tsarukyan. He showed in this first fight that he is very competitive with him. That being Islam Makhachev. So why not give him another chance? And I think he's proven it. And I think maybe he might need one more. Maybe not, though. What can you really say against the guy at this point?
Yeah, not much. I mean, especially when you look at the top 5 of the lightweight division, so much inactivity and, people are just waiting around. Dustin Poirier, wasn't he there at UFC Austin? Like, they were trying to make him a big deal. I don't know what's going on with him lately or at all. He's just pretty much a non-factor. Justin Gaethje, I guess he's next. I guess maybe. We already saw him against. Yeah, I don't know, but Tsarukyan. Yeah, I mean, he didn't even. It was crazy how he got this finish. Really, I mean, it's something I guess we've been waiting for, right? He took this big step up. Last fight he fought Joaquin Silva, who. We'll definitely get to him later on.
Yeah.
And he looked good, but then he also, Joaquin Silva made him do the chicken dance. And then this fight, he fights Beneil Dariush, just a whole different class, whole nother level. Although Beneil coming back 4 months after getting brutally knocked out in his last fight, not smart, not ideal. And we'll definitely have a conversation about him. But, Tsarukyan with that knee, and before his foot comes back to the mat, he fires off just a piston of a quick right hand and just drops him. And that was it. That was really it. And he had some vicious ground and pound, something that we've seen from him in the past, but in spurts, right? I mean, it was something he wasn't really getting off against Damir Ismagulov. He kind of just took him down, and that was it. When he fought Gamrot, he wasn't really able to punish him as much. He did knock him down. He did end up getting that. I actually lost that fight. Made it close, but Joel Alvarez fight was a huge one. We saw him split him wide open, but ever since then, it's been kind of not as much. Anyway, remember he fought OAM. I was waiting for that Davi Ramos too. He was like 4 fights into the UFC and he hadn't had a finish yet, so I was kind of worried about him as a prospect. Right? It was just that debut against Islam where he looked good in a loss, but yeah, three wins in a row now since the Gamrot fight. 2 finishes, and this one coming 1 minute 4 seconds in against Beneil Dariush, a top 5 fighter. Yeah, that's huge, man, and the way he got it done quick and just effortlessly, almost. So it's good to see he threw a couple leg kicks, right? There's not much to take from this performance, all in all, but
so fucking fast.
He did what he needed to do. Really, honestly, I mean, so I don't think there's anything much else you need to see from him. Maybe one more fight. I mean, if you made him and Justin Gaethje tomorrow, I don't think anybody would be upset, right? So we'll see. We'll see what they do. We'll see what kind of direction they go in. Maybe wait it out, see what Islam wants to do. I'm sure Islam would want to fight him again because I think Islam does have the advantage. I don't think Arman's going to be able to beat Islam, but Arman does bring, he does bring something to the table for sure. He is a little smaller. He's a little lightning rod, 5'7", but he's got a pretty long reach, I believe, for his height. Maybe not, but all around versatility. He's dangerous everywhere. So yeah, I love it. I'm here for it, and he already might be the best. What is it? Armenian fighter in UFC history. It was either him or Caro Parisian. Sorry. So he's doing good things. I'm here for it.
Yeah, he would have a 2-inch reach advantage on Islam. At least that's what he did his last fight. I don't know, if Mr. Islam's arms have gotten bigger, but
never know.
You never know. You never know with this stuff. Yeah, it really, like you said, you can't really take much from this other than how dominant. I mean, he just got him out of there real quick. I think, like you said, maybe or at least I should say, I underestimated how quickly he did come back from that TKO loss to Charles Oliveira. I mean, I think he got head kicked, knocked down, and then finished on the ground. And, but this is a Beneil Dariush who, of his 6 losses, 5 of them have been by TKO. So it seems like this is this tends to happen to him. And that's just an unfortunate reality. And Beneil Dariush, that's probably it for him. Not like he'll continue to fight, but I'm saying as a serious contender at 55, it's probably done for him. He's going to drop down in the rankings. He's going to assume the role of a gatekeeper.
Doing Paddy Pimblett.
And hope. Hey, you know what? I don't even know. Before I would have taken Beneil to smoke him, but now a gust of wind rolls by, and he got cracked. Though. I'm not trying to take it away from him, but it's just tough to see you go to sleep twice in a row. And Ty, what do you make of 155 pounds does not have one ranked fighter has a scheduled fight upcoming. So back to the drawing board for 55. Yeah, a couple of them just happened this past weekend, and a couple were, I think, BSD just fought. So there's obviously just a lot of I don't want to say inactivity, but some of these guys being Dustin Poirier, Mike Chandler, even Gaethje, I got, not so much, but it's a lot of inactivity. Fiziv's hurt. Gamrot, when's the last time we seen Gamrot? Wasn't that long ago. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess we should just keep it moving because we could talk about some more 55 action from this past weekend. Jalen Turner, did he wind up making weight? He did, right?
He did. So apparently he I think missed on the first attempt, which I think many people expected. And then he disappeared for 5 minutes, apparently, resurfaced and weighed a pound less. And there was a scale issue. So welcome to Texas, I guess, right? So he ended up making weight and then dropping some weight on Bobby Green. I guess we should just
weight on his chin, dude.
We should talk about, I guess, started off with Kerry Hatley. I feel like he should never be allowed to ref a fight again. Ever.
It made me feel like he had Jalen Turner by death. It wasn't just didn't just have TKO. He took plus 6,000 by death. And
he had over a half a round. That's what he had. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was just letting him get his face smashed in.
That's crazy.
He was kind of turtled up, but not really, just laying flat. I mean, he got hit and he dropped. And so it was like, okay, like maybe you let him try to recover a little bit. But once he jumped on top of him and started landing those shots, it's over. It's like, okay.
He could have stopped it as soon as he went down after doing the chicken dance. Because when people do the chicken dance, they don't get up ever again.
Yeah.
How many times do people survive the chicken dance? We talked about one that just happened to Arman Tsarukyan, but like that's a pretty telling fact. That's it's pretty telling when that happens that this guy's not there anymore. He's just not with it. He doesn't have his legs. His body is not there. He goes down, and then you get Jalen Turner on top of him, hits him a couple times. I think he hits him 16 times unanswered. And honestly, I guess Kerry Hatley was waiting for him to go to sleep. I thought he was already out, and then maybe woke back up. Maybe not. Either way, waits for him to go to sleep, and then even after he goes to sleep, he gets hit 3 more times, and he just that is terrible. Even Jalen Turner, who doesn't seem like a guy, he doesn't seem like a guy who will do what Justin Gaethje did when he fought Cowboy, right? And tell the ref, like, hey, stop the fight. Like, you're going to have to rip him off of him, which is their jobs. That's their job. Even he said, yeah, I don't usually complain about the ref, but he could have stepped in at any point there. You know what I mean? Like, dude, Daniel Cormier not only was going crazy when it happened, but after the fight, he comes in to interview Jalen Turner. He just straight up goes for he asks him, he's like, hey, man, how pathetic was that fucking stoppage? Like pretty much like, hey, Kerry Hatley, I know you're probably 5 feet behind me. You suck, by the way. So that was kind of crazy. Daniel Cormier doesn't give a fuck.
He was right.
So that he was absolutely right. I think it was him or Bisping. I think it was Bisping was like, you could stop it at any time. And Brendan Fitzgerald's like, yeah, what are you waiting for? Boom, boom, boom. And these were clean shots that were fucking landing right on a guy who he wasn't covering up. His hands were out. Like they were extended out by his body. Like he wasn't really there. The fact that it took that long to put him to sleep is kind of fucking crazy, right? That's kind of scary. Bobby Green is not somebody to fuck with on the street. Arman Tsarukyan probably somebody who can handle him. So maybe we make that fight next. I don't know, but yeah, great performance from Turner, man. He really is an ultimate hammer. It's crazy. He's only 28. He's got a bunch of losses, right? He's been knocked out. He's been destroyed in split decisions. Or just destroyed in unanimous decisions, and he's been in a couple splits with some guys. He's fought really good fighters. He can definitely still improve. It's really about his chin, his striking defense, his ability to take a big shot, and his cardio. If he can shore those two areas up, especially if he can shore up his cardio, I see some big time potential for Jalen Turner as long as he stays or can stay at 155. Now I have doubts about that. Right, he's always kind of it's killing him to make weight. He's 6'3" for middleweight or for lightweight. So I feel like I don't know how natural it would be, but seeing him ease up to 170 would be awesome. I think 170 could be a very interesting place for somebody like him. It kind of reminds me of Kevin Holland, but more crisp with his striking. I don't know if he has a head kick knockout yet, but man, he's flirting with one. Let's see if he has one. I don't think so. No, he hasn't needed a body kick, but he doesn't have a head kick knockout. He throws nasty head kicks, question mark kicks I'm seeing now. So he's really diversifying his stand-up, which I love to see. Absolutely love to see that from somebody who's young and talented with a lot of potential. Something that, guys like Devontae Smith back in the day and even Terrence McKinney haven't really done, right? They have a lot of power and they can really just be a force coming forward, but they're not mixing it up. They're not throwing in kicks and body kicks and low kicks and head kicks. Jalen Turner, like his nickname says, the Tarantula, very long, very quick, very fast. He was just beating Bobby Green to the punch.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really close. He was just doing what he wanted to an older and less athletic, smaller, less powerful, less quick opponent.
I was just getting cooked on Saturday night, man. It's just one of them nights where I don't think I think I maybe won one bet. 2. I
think I might have won 2. So
you had it's gonna be hard for me to figure this out right away, but yeah, I think you lost all of them except.
I think
close.
All I had
close TKO.
Yeah,
Jakar close,
yeah,
and that made up a lot of the losing. To be honest,
but
I didn't even
You know,
take
we
the one that I only had one win because I didn't take Sean Brady sub, which I should have taken.
Right, yeah.
Which I usually would have taken anyway. But yeah, no. In all honesty, that was a huge win for Jalen Turner. He came in with he had the game plan of a guy who was taking a fight on short notice. He didn't come out and try to like shoot his load right away. He just sat there, counter punched a little bit, was sitting down on his punches and was waiting, picking his spots. And he found a spot, man. He fucking sent Bobby Green to the Shadow Realm. And Bobby Green got sent to the Shadow Realm 3 to 4 more times on the ground. So that's unfortunate. But you think it's over for Bobby Green there, Ty? I think it might be Mr. King Green might be a little toast. He's 37 years old. And he has been, I mean, he coming off a big win against Grant Dawson. So maybe it was just a bad night out. I don't want to, disparage the man too much, but it's Drew Dober just knocked him out last year. He fights kind of often, so I guess I don't want to get too worked up about.
Yeah, let's take some time. I think he should take some time off. He just took a beating of a lifetime. He's been in a lot of wars, a lot of fights. I'm sure he's been in fights outside the cage. He almost was in one with Arman Tsarukyan. That would have been bad news. Yeah, let's take some time off. You just went to sleep a couple times and took like 4 punches while you were asleep, and it took you 15 to get you to sleeping.
Yeah, great job by Kerry Hatley, man. Just
that was bad.
An all-time performance there by Kerry Steve Mazzagatti Hatley. So Davis and Figueiredo. This was, I think, the performance of the night. I don't know if it actually won performance of the night, but it was just the showing that he had. He looked very good at 35, and I still am a little bit conflicted as to whether it was him looking so good, or maybe that Rob Font is just cooked, because Rob Font looked horrible on Saturday night. Yeah. But I guess I'll ask your opinion on what you think of that little proposition.
Yeah, Rob Font didn't look good, man. Rob Font looked weathered. He looked like somebody who's been weathered. Meanwhile, Figgy looked like somebody who's kind of reinvigorated at a new weight class. The strike totals won't ever really paint the picture for this fight. They never do with Rob Font, honestly. Like, there's been time. I remember he outlanded Cheeto Vera so much, but he was getting fucking broken, beat down, knocked down, hurt, bloody.
Yeah,
they were both bleeding pretty quickly in this one. I think that jab both ways. Font wasn't using it as much, but Figgy was definitely throwing a nice little stiff jab. They were pretty much both head hunting. They weren't doing much else. Weren't going to the body or legs really much. And I don't even know if Rob Font really won a round. Maybe the first, because nothing really happened. But honestly, I think Figgy landed the bigger and better shots in the first round. There wasn't many, but and he also got 2 takedowns.
Yeah,
didn't do much with it, but I thought as a whole the striking was pretty similar, pretty close, right? I think all 3 gave it 30-27. Mike Beltran, how about Mike Beltran judging
grabbing
a
his
fight?
pen? Yeah. Grabbing his boligrapho and making some fucking picks, dude. I like that.
Let's do it. Get him out of the cage because he can't ref. So, I think Figgy looked good. I'm excited to see what he does going forward. I think he offers a pretty interesting all-around package, if you will. Especially for 135. Especially for 135. Beating Rob Font is a good start. And I think, honestly, we've seen it in other weight classes. He might be better in a second fight in a new weight class. So it'll be very interesting to see what he can do there and who he gets matched up with. There's going to be fun matchups all across the board, honestly.
I have one that I want.
Let's see. Let's hear it.
I think Peter Yan on a fight night, 5 rounds.
Oh,
that's what I want to see.
That's
2 similarly sized guys,
Yeah, I guess Font was 8, so you got to put him. You got to put Figgy somewhere up there, right? You can put him.
Figgy steals his number. Move Font back down to 10 or 11, because
get Chris Gutierrez or Ricky Simone out of here, and then Peter Yan's 5, and you could do that. You could 100% do that. I mean, if you want to put Figgy in there with Aljamain Sterling, I'd be down for that. It'd be a nice little scramble fest, and while it lasts. Or Marab, or anybody. Honestly, sign me up. Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, I think the possibilities are endless, and I think they need to move quickly with Figgy. Figgy won't have to take that time in between fights to get, the worry about his fitness and worry about losing all this weight and cutting and getting into training camps. It's more just like it seemed much more of a natural figure in this fight, and kind of carried that into the later end of this fight. Not that he wasn't carrying it, in at 25, but he looked better. He looked more healthy, and the power definitely translated. I don't know if that's just because Font is absolutely cooked and he never really has taken a shot well, but he was hurting him with jabs and just short shots that were. It was a little shocking to see the reaction from Rob Font, but
he didn't look good.
Rob Font did not look good, so maybe it is the end of the road for Mr. Does he have a nickname, Mr. Font?
No.
No. All right. See, that's the problem. That's the number one problem right there. That when you don't have a nickname, I don't have anything cool to call you on the segue out. But this is another guy who doesn't have a nickname. How about Sean Brady, man? This is another one that was probably the performance of the night. He smothered Kelvin Gastelum, and I saw, I got a couple people in my text saying, "Oh, wow, I didn't realize Gastelum was this bad." I don't really think that was the case. I don't think it was necessarily a Gastelum is trash as much as it was, Brady was just dominating him and was just manhandling him, and there was not a goddamn thing he could do about it. I think this kind of showed that the Bilal Muhammad fight was maybe a little bit of a blip in the radar. Things got a little bit too big for him. The whole being undefeated and going out to Abu Dhabi, and there was just a lot of hype behind him and a lot of just pressure behind Sean Brady that probably became overwhelming and just kind of, took over his whole mentality. And you saw he fought like a completely different guy in this fight. It didn't matter whether Kelvin Gastelum wanted to go to the ground or not. He was going to the ground. And Brady was going to whatever position he really wanted to and was just dominating him. And he eventually gets the Kimura at the end of the fight. But I guess, Ty, what did you make of this? Were you as impressed as I was by Sean Brady?
Yeah, he came out and off the rip just fucking took him where he wanted to take him on the ground.
He even wobbled him on the feet at one point.
5 of 5 on takedowns, 9 minutes of control, just consistent smothering. There was moments that were, some boo birds were coming out, and there was moments of inactivity, but he pretty much had him down for the entire second round, most of the first, and a little bit of the third. And like you said, yeah, he did do some work on the feet as well, mixing that in. But he said it after the fight. He said, like, this is what I'm going to start doing to people. And I've been waiting for that, honestly. I'm glad that he's going to start doing this to people. Do you know how many takedowns he attempted against Bilal Muhammad?
None.
How many takedowns he got? I'm sorry? None. Yeah. And the takedown attempts that he attempted, I think, were when he was already, when he was tired and hurt.
Yeah.
Like, off the rip, man, he's going to be very, very tough for guys, especially when he brings that kind of style. Like, we see that, consistently from him. Just as soon as the fight starts, dude, his strength has to be unmatched at this division. I mean, he is a fucking unit, a bowling ball, a strong. He's just an ox, and he's got good technical ability too, and he's still getting better, right? He's working with great guys all around his camp. Now it seems like he knows where his bread is buttered. He knows what works in his game. He knows what he can do to people. Look what he just did to Kelvin Gastelum. So, yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Maybe you want to see some more activity, right? You want to see some more on the stand-up if he can, go a couple rounds and not get hurt, right? Or at least fight smart, really. It's all about fighting smart. Dude, you don't have to be the best striker in the world, right?
No.
So you just got to take the fight where you want it. GSP was one of the smartest fighters ever. He was also one of the best. But he got caught in a submission. He got knocked out once. So he got caught a couple times, and then after that, he knew what to do. John Jones a couple times was in some close fights. Goes up to heavyweight, takes Cyril Gane down right away. Boom. Minute in, he's a double champ. Like, if Sean Brady can do that, if Sean Brady can fight smart and have a game plan, and use his IQ, use his ability to take fights where you want to dominate and where other guys don't want to go. Kelvin Gastelum wants to stand there and box. They were trying to tell him, his corner was trying to tell him to box with him, and he couldn't. He literally couldn't. He was on his back foot the whole time. So, great job by Sean Brady. Hope to see it more. Love to see it from the local boy. And, I'm sure he's going to make some I'm sure his next fight's going to be another, this is a pretty big name. And I would love to see him back in there with, Bilal eventually. But
Yeah,
We'll see.
I mean, he smothered him, dude. It was really, like you said, whether his corner's going, hey, box them, he did not have a chance. He didn't have a say in the matter what was happening. He was trying to defend those takedowns, but they just weren't, it was not happening. And when he got him to the ground, he was very, like you said, like technical, surgical, and methodical about moving from position to position and maintaining that control. He just, and you said, this is what he said. I'd like to see him do this to everybody. But you should fight your style. Do not fight other people's style because they want you to, or this is the more exciting thing. I don't care if people are booing. If I'm Sean Brady, I don't give a shit about that. I'm trying to win fights, and I'm trying to, just dominate people. And I would like to see more of this. And, whether he could do this to Bilal Muhammad, doubt it. That's because Bilal Muhammad's just a better fighter than Kelvin Gastelum, or better 70er and more of a more technical wrestler and whatnot. But I think he could definitely comport. I'm sure he wants that performance back. I think he would look a lot better in a rematch whenever that may happen down the road. I'd like to see Sean Brady get Gilbert Burns next. I think that would be a nice little step up in competition and a good matchup for skill sets. I think it would be awesome.
Give me Dorino inside one.
See, there you go. That's already what would be the conversation. I'm taking Sean Brady now. Back on the Sean Brady hype train, so I will not be feeding him again. How about Joaquim Silva getting a unanimous decision victory against Clay Guida? Clay Guida just would not go to sleep. He was eating the most thunderous, vicious knees to the face, wobbling for 1 second, and then getting right back into the fight. Clay Guida is not a human being. I could not understand the punishment that he was taking. Props to Joaquim Silva for being able to keep the gas tank, somewhat presentable and not completely gassing out, because he was dropping bombs on Clay Guida, and Clay Guida just kept coming for him, trying to take him down, trying to just impose his will on him, and it looked like at certain points he was going to be able to do that. Clay Guida. How many times did he get hurt? 2, 3, maybe 3 times?
Yeah, multiple. One definitely. I think it was the start. It was that uppercut in round one towards the end, because the first round nothing was really happening. Silva was waiting, and boom, quick left uppercut. We didn't really see it because they were changing cameras, but that wobbled him. And then I think in the third, a couple times. I think it was the third when he hit him with a couple knees. Right? I'm not sure if that was the second. Clay won the second, if I remember correctly, but he was getting tagged for sure. I mean, the second round's when he got that takedown and had some control, but round 3, he was just overmatched. I think he was really hoping and thinking Silva was going to fade. I think his corner kept telling him, like, he's done. That was his best work in the first round. And it wasn't. The third round, he did pretty well too. So shout out to also Joaquim Silva got a takedown and had some control and had some submission attempt.
Yeah.
I think he had was a rear naked choke in the third round. Either way, he did some really good work.
Almost finished that guillotine.
Guillotine, that's what it was. So, yeah, shout out to Clay Guida for still hanging around. I mean, honestly, everybody's counting him out. I thought he was going to go to sleep or knocked out or something in this fight, and he stayed awake. So I guess, what is he, 38-24 now? That's crazy. That is crazy. So I guess he still has a little bit left, but, I mean, I'm not, put him against Jim Miller or don't do anything at all. How about that?
Get him on the UFC 300 card against Jim Miller. Let's call it quits. Let's do this the right way. Get him his rematch against A10 Jim Miller.
That'd be wild.
Let's run it. How about Dustin Stoltzfus? Now, this one shocked both of us. Now, I mean, I guess necessarily it shouldn't, because Puna Soriano is on the ultimate fade list, or the DNB. I know we haven't talked about the DNB recently, but the do not bet list, Puna Soriano is 100% on that, because you just can't trust this guy. Shout out to the St. Pete's traffic in the background. I'm hearing somebody's alarm going off or something like that. That's That's kind of sick, though. That's kind of sick, honestly. What did you make? Dustin Stoltzfus looked much better in this fight, though, than he has in recent performances.
Yeah, he actually did. He was taking shots pretty well, because I feel like Puna kept landing. He was only landing the left. That's like all he was doing. He's left-hander bust, man. It sucks. But he does have a good left. He does hit hard, too. And then he got dropped at the very end of the first round. Dustin Stoltzfus, boom, quick straight punch, dropped him. And then when round 2 started, Dustin finally got the takedown. And then, honestly, from there, it was easy. Got the rear naked choke. Puna's just he just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. He doesn't have an all-around game. He doesn't really have much other than that left hook. If he's not going to get you out quick, I think he kind of goes into quit mode. You know, I don't think he really has that dog in him. I think he was ready to go against Kopylov once after that first round. He really didn't want any more. Brendan Allen, the Nick Maximoff fight, he was just giving up takedowns. He kind of looked dejected in that third round. So, yeah, I mean, he had some good wins earlier in his career, but I don't know how many of them are even in the UFC anymore. Honestly, none of them. Yeah, none of them are. I don't think Dusko is anymore. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, his losses they weren't that bad, but losing to Dustin Stoltzfus, getting dominated by Dustin Stoltzfus, taken down 4 times, getting knocked down once, yeah, not a good look. He might be cut, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate for him, not unfortunate for us because we don't have to deal with it anymore. So, no, it's just he's not on that level. If you're getting dominated by Dustin Stoltzfus, who we have talked about, I mean, he did look better. Let me say that.
He did, yeah. But he was still getting hit,
his one win was against Dwight Grant, and the other win was against Joe Pyfer, whose arm popped out of its socket. Let's
run that one back.
Yeah, seriously, please do. Actually, probably would be a good fight.
Yeah, funny enough.
But yeah, good win for Dustin Stoltzfus and DNB. So, somebody else is on the DNB. Julia Avila. She got absolutely dominated by Miesha Tate. You would have thought Miesha Tate, her last name was Nurmagomedov, because she just absolutely smashed the fuck out of Julia Avila and was just walking forward with no sort of fear or any worry that there might be a punch flying back her way. Walked her back to the fence, hands around the butt, took her ass down, and just proceeded to smash her on the ground. So Miesha Tate looked like prime Miesha Tate here. 135 looks like it suits her much better, especially if she's fighting a Julia Avila every time. But the worrisome part is that the Julia Avilas aren't exactly walking out to the cage with her every time. So I guess that's maybe something to be concerned about.
She had what was it? 6-10. What's that? 16 seconds. All but 16 seconds of the first 2 rounds, she had control. That's crazy. That's great. In the third round, Julia Avila was just ready to go home. She was like, you know what? I just had a daughter. Let's go home and see her. Let's go home and talk to her. Let's go home and have her ice my face for me because I'm getting beat up. There wasn't, huge punishment, but there was enough, man. There was enough to really wear you down, to smother you and, drop some. Yeah, Miesha Tate looked good, man. Miesha Tate Medoff looked pretty good in this fight. I can't hate. She's older. She's been in a lot of fights. She called for Holly Holm. Run that one back. I'm here for it. Also, Julia Avila walking out with the double knee pads. Huge red flag. I think as soon as that happened, I should have texted you saying, "Yo,
fade
mortgage on Miesha Tate sub." Quick pressure, quick takedown. She had a neck crank in the first round. I think Miesha Tate, she was just doing whatever she wanted to. Also, Jacob Montalvo, he could have at any point stood Miesha Tate up for grabbing the cage. He just kept smacking her hands and yanking them out of the cage. I'm like, no. Eventually, you have to fucking do something. That's what I think my biggest. I hate when refs do that. Like say something, and then smack or pull, take their fingers or toes out of the cage, and if they keep doing it, stand them the fuck up and say, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry. You can't just keep doing it. I'm not gonna stand here and be fence grab patrol. I have other shit to look at." So. Also, she messed up her ankle. I don't even know how the fuck that happened. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're 70 years old. But either way, hope to see her do something. Holly Holm, that's the fight to make. Let's fucking do it. Loser goes home forever.
I'm glad you brought this up, though. Like that, that's the thing. We talk about this multiple times on here, but I can't stand when refs just let that shit, let people get away with that stuff. Why wouldn't I grab the fence if all you're going to do is slap my hand?
Yeah, I'll just keep grabbing it.
What is the penalty for grabbing the fence? Nothing. You're just going to slap my hand and say, hey, don't do that. She did it 5 or 6 times, consecutively, and held her position where she was so that she was able to go then do other shit. Right away, you know who wouldn't have let that happen? Herzog. Herzog would not have let that happen.
Where was Herzog? Where's Goddard?
He stood them right out. Well, Goddard probably had some English shit to do. You never know. Yeah. He's always up to, fight back, Colby. He'll probably be back for the Colby fight.
I love when they show him before they show, when they say, when they do the fighter introductions and they show the ref for the main event, and he's just sitting there, standing against the cage, looking all handsome, with his handsome self.
Then hits a wink. I love it.
Yeah, hits a wink, chewing on his gum. He's a handsome fella.
Fight back, Colby.
He's a handsome lad.
Fight back. Fight back, Kobe. Fight back. No, but seriously, I'm glad you brought that
Throw
up.
the leg kick, Modestus. I had to do it. I was waiting.
More kicks, Modestus. Shout out to Will Curry. We'll be following his career.
Shout out to Will Curry. He should be in the UFC soon.
So yeah, listen, good win for Miesha Tate. Like you said, I don't know how she got hurt in that, but whatever.
Yeah,
like you said, she's 100 years old. So what are you gonna do? How about Cody Brundage? This pissed me off. Really pissed me off because you had the round 1, which I thought was a lock, and then I had Zach Reese sub, which I thought was a lock, and we were about to both.
It was locked in.
We were about to cash it in because that triangle was locked in heavy, and then Batista bomb. Cody Brundage hits a Batista bomb, keeps his career around, gets himself a win, gives Zach Reese his first loss.
This might have been worse than the other one.
No, the other one was worse. Well, we'll talk about that next. I
think Reese. I think he had a worse reaction. Because even like a little bit after the fight, he's just laying there, like 1/4 of the way, leaning up against the cage, like, huh? I think Selecki wasn't there, but he got up and he was like, all right. Like, his legs weren't there, but I think he was like, all right. Everybody stop fucking asking me what happened. Like,
yeah, he's like, I figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Meanwhile, Zach Reese is just like,
what?
Hi, Mom. Thanks for picking me up from school. Yeah. It's like, all right.
Zach, you've been Batista bombed in the MMA, in the UFC cage.
What are your thoughts?
What's for dinner? You're like, oh, boy. Let's get him to the hospital. He doesn't know where he is, but...
Brundage was getting booed, so I know you love to hear that, but I think that was
he's a piece of shit.
Reese is... Listen, he's DQing. He's getting DQ wins and he's slamming people in their head. What's next? I don't know, but I think Reese also he's from Texas, so I think that's why that happened. So also shout out to Brendan Fitzgerald, dropped a shoulder strikes reference. He said 2019 was the year of shoulder strikes. Well, 2024, or I guess is 2023 the year of the slams? I don't think so because there's only been 2. So.
Well, and every year is the year of the shoulder strikes, and that is the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast, and it never ends now. I'll tell you what was it? This December 2nd was definitely the night of the slam because this pissed me off. Back-to-back, losing both of my bets via a fucking slam, a Batista bomb-esque slam.
This was a little wild. This was like a Brock Lesnar. I'm going to pick you up and just dog you. Maul you. I don't even know what kind of slam this was because he like turned it sideways and said, "Oh man, I don't know if this is going to work, but I hope it does." And that was kind of crazy.
Just bounced his head right off the canvas, man. There was no give there whatsoever. It was. We were talking about Drakkar Klose, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I know we didn't really segue this well, but Drakkar Klose just slams the shit out of Joe Selecki and knocks him out and gets the W. Man, it's cashes your bet out. I think at plus 390. Yeah, 390 for Drakkar Klose TKO. So how about that, Ty? That's a
good hit.
Nice little W there for you.
It's funny, he got taken down quick, too, and then controlled.
Yep.
And then quickly reversed. Klose got on top. He went for the armbar. Had it.
He did.
Had the armbar. And then just got fucking, slammed on his fucking noggin. So thanks for showing. Thanks for showing up, Joe.
Yeah, just if you feel like, when you're in my situation and you had, that submission, you feel like you got screwed. You're just like, I feel like I was on the right side here, and now I'm not because the other guy is celebrating and my guy's over there, basically waking up from a nap and it's like, what do you mean? And it's like, you had the armbar in, you locked in, you had the triangle locked in. The triangle was locked in too. Like that shit was.
That was locked in deep.
He didn't grab the leg though, man. You got to grab the leg to stop yourself from getting fucking picked up and slammed.
At the last minute, Reese tried to grab for something in a desperate attempt, but that was right as his head got thrown through the floor. Selecki didn't really try to brace his fall. He was just like, I'm trying to snap his arm.
He had no choice, too. It's either he lets go of the arm bar or he gets slammed, and he chose to get slammed, and he made the wrong choice. It happens. How about Adolfo Bellato? This is one of the private life bet. No, wait, did I have this on the pod? Yeah, it's actually the only bet I had. That's great. TKO via Ihor Potiera. This fight was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Potiera was putting the fucking beats on Bellato at multiple times during the second round, and then he just kind of punched himself out. And Bellato came storming back took him down and just started smashing him. You could tell Potier, once he realized he wasn't going to get him out of there, he wanted out himself. So that was that.
Yeah, he couldn't get a takedown, and then finally, when he got tired, he almost came close to getting the stoppage too. The ref was taking a nice little hard look. The refs didn't really care. The refs were like, listen, we're not going to do, no more of that early stoppage. We're going to wait till guys are cooked and sleeping and snoring and sleepwalking. We're going to wait, which is fine, but whew, man. Anyway,
Montalvo, dude. Shout out to Montalvo.
Adolfo Gelato. He was getting busted up bad. Like, first round, he was getting right under his right eye was busted up, and then Gelato comes back, gets the takedown. Once he got the trip, it was over. Cooked him. Took him to school. Finished him against the cage. Mr. Ihor. They were struggling to say his name. Once you know that DC starts pivoting from the last name to the first name, that's when you know he's had enough. So, yeah, Poteria. Igor is cooked. I think he's probably done. It's sad because he looked pretty good from the southpaw stance, landing some shots, but no cardio, no dog in him, and that's pretty much it.
That's what he gets for pissing on Shogun, who was Grave. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, rest in piss.
So now we're gonna get to two fights that I'm gonna be honest with the folks out there. Didn't watch a punch. Didn't watch one punch from either one of these.
Not
Jared Gooden getting an upset victory over Wellington Turman. What happened here?
He got a win. He got the win. No, they were exchanging. They were exchanging some pleasantries in the first and the second. Jared Gooden took over in the second round. First round was pretty close. I think Turman ended up getting a takedown. Right? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Gooden hurt Turman with a nice left, and then subbed him. Really, yeah. I think that's kind of what happened, because it was before that. Jared Gooden. It looks like every punch hurts him, but it doesn't. Sometimes it does. Like the way he his movement and just like stiffness, I guess it throws you off. You keep thinking he's hurt. I think it could have been stopped before the rear naked choke, but that's neither here nor there. Referees again didn't have a great night. Turman, it's funny, he was doing pretty well before that. He was right in it, but it just who was going to get hurt first? But both guys have shaky chins, and Wellington Turman was the one who fell first, and Jared Gooden the sub. I don't know how many people had him by sub, but that was probably a very juicy line if you were for some reason on it. But yeah.
Yeah, I am curious to know what that was too. It probably was in the plus 1,000 range, but
he avoids the Grim Reaper that is the UFC roster watch. So
yeah, he lives to fight another day. Somebody who lives to fight another day. That's Veronica Macedo. Don't call me Macedo. Hardy. She gets a split decision victory over Jamie Lynn Horth, and I couldn't have cared less. I can't believe I took Horth. I think I took Horth inside the distance.
Yep.
What
I convinced you like a dummy.
What were we thinking? That's the thing. Like, I need to fucking just clear my brain, man. We need to just reset. And I think this week that we have off here is going to help me fucking reset.
I'm going to reset for sure. So Jacob Montalvo is the only one who gave the fight to Horth, which is terrible. So shout out to him for making multiple appearances on the Shoulder Strikes podcast. The problem is Jamie Lynn Horth was fighting at range, and she wasn't like trying to corral and put her hands and grab Macedo and kind of put her against the cage and kind of do those type of things which we predicted that she could do or would do or whatever. She did get a takedown in the second round, but it ended up not really meaning much. She actually got hurt with an upkick in the second round by Veronica Hardy. So I think Hardy just had the speed advantage. She used a really good jab. She was just moving really well. Jamie Lynn Horth, kind of a plotter. Veronica Hardy looked quick. Dan Hardy has really done a lot for this woman's career. She was somebody who lost to Bia Malecki, had to take time off from punishment that Bia Malecki gave her. She comes back and wins these fights that she was an underdog in both of, and she wins them easily. Like this one, I know it's a split, but the first two rounds were easy for her. She had a really good jab that she dropped Horth with in the first as Horth threw a kick. So it wasn't like I guess it's not technically a knockdown, which I kind of wish they were knockdowns, but I guess it is what it is. She caught her in between kicks multiple times. She did it with a jab, dropped her. She did it again with a 1-2 right after, and then almost did it again with a jab to end the first round. So she was just piecing her up, landing the better shots. I think she bloodied her nose a little bit in the first. Second round starts. I think Horth kind of no, she hurt Horth with an up kick, like I said. That was pretty nasty. And then third round, Horth dropped her with a lead elbow, kind of. It was weird. It was a weird little knockdown, but that's kind of what won her that third. But yeah, Veronica Hardy looked good, man, and she's still young, so she almost started crying, I think, backstage and in the post-fight interview, talking about Dan Hardy and all the work that he has done, all the positive work he's done for her career, and he honestly has resurrected her career. He's made her, a UFC fighter. I don't think she really was UFC caliber before, and now she's won 3 of her last 4, with the one loss coming to Bia Malecki. And she lost the first 3 in her career to Ashley Evans Smith, Andrea Lee, and Jillian Robertson. Neither fight was really close. Yeah. So this is good. This is 2 fights in a row. Juliana Miller, not the best, but she came out and she smoked her. She took her down 4 times, beat on her.
That disrespect, by the way.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Veronica Hardy, she's small, right? She's very tiny, but she's quick and she has something working with her hands. She just needs to kind of get her cardio up, and she's never going to be the stronger woman in that cage, I don't think, at flyweight, but she's got something. She's winning fights. So Dan Hardy obviously is doing something right.
That he is, and he will be back in the smart cage soon, giving you people breakdowns and trying to help.
Laying some pipe also.
And he's definitely laying pipe. He has to be. But we did lose the Melky Costa fight and Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia had an illness, so we lost out.
That's what Joel Embiid had.
Yeah, it must be an illness going around. Hey, man, I've been under the weather as well. So
yeah, I so am I. When I was in KC, somehow didn't get much more sick, but I'm trying. I'm sick of life. Hell that.
So Ty, I think we gave out an unheard of amount of money during this. Arman Tsarukyan gets $50K. Jalen Turner gets $50K. Sean Brady gets $50K. Dustin Stoltzfus gets $50K. Misha Tate gets $50K.
Hello.
Cody Brunage gets $50K. Drakkar Klose gets $50K. Adolfo Bellotto gets $50K, as well as Ihor Potieria for Fight of the Night. And Jared Gooden gives out $50,000. So
sounds like $50,000, a total of $500,000.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, is that $500,000 that we're giving out? That's what it seems like. So I'm not good at math or anything, but yeah, I mean, listen, if you can afford to have Mark Smith, Kerry Hatley, Jeff Rexroad, and Jacob Montalvo be the refs, I guess that gives you a little bit more money left over, right? You don't have to pay Herb Dean or Goddard or Herzog. You just give it to Adolfo Bellotto and Ihor, I guess. But yeah, I mean, listen, I love to see it. These guys deserve these bonuses. Misha Tate deserved $50K for doing what she did, so I'm here for it.
So congrats to all those people. That was UFC Austin. Not a bad event, not the best.
Texas.
But that is that. Hopefully we don't head back to Texas for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia took a W this weekend.
He did. He took a W. It took him a while. The fight was not great. The card itself was bad. Shane Mosley, that fight sucked. The co-main event, Floyd Schofield, his name is. He's 21 years old from Jersey City. I believe he's fighting out Austin, Texas now, but he's from originally Jersey City. 21 years old. He's nasty. 16-0. He gets a first-round knockout of Ricardo Lopez, who people thought was going to be his first big test. No, not really. He just walks fucking through him. So he's going to be somebody to watch. The rest of the card, it was just trash. And then this Garcia fight was not that good. Duarte didn't really do much. Garcia for the first couple rounds flashed a nice jab. So we're like, everyone's watching like, all right, he's throwing a jab. He's doing this. Then he abandons all of it. He stops throwing the left hook, stops jabbing. And he starts doing this shoulder roll, this Philly shell that just looked absolutely abysmal. It looked like somebody in amateurs was trying to pick something up, try something new. I don't know who told him to do that. I highly doubt it was Derek James. I highly doubt it was Derek James. But somebody did. Maybe he did. Maybe somebody on TikTok did. But it wasn't working. He kept turning, right? He was turning his body. And if Duarte would just throw punches, throw combos, he could have probably landed on him. It was really ugly. It was really. You got to watch some highlights or watch a video and go look at it. Sean Porter was doing the fight. He kept saying, if you're not Floyd Mayweather, don't do the shoulder roll. And I said, yeah, I pretty much agree. James Toney, I guess, too. But if one of those two are not teaching you, do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. So and it's been a popular thing. We've seen a lot of fighters in 2023 use it more, but they know what they're doing. You have to practice it. You can't just pick this up in your 27th, 25th pro fight. You can't just start doing this now It's not going to work. So that looked bad. That was a bad look. And it took him 8 rounds to put this guy out. That was also kind of not a great look. Oscar Duarte didn't do much. So Garcia had like 3 different. Then he started running away. He was like running in the middle to late rounds. He fought like 3 different fights in 8 rounds. Ryan Garcia did. So I have more questions about him in this game than I do have answers. So I guess he called out Rolly Romero. That would be a good fight. Honestly, he should fight him next. He called out Teofimo after that and Devin Haney. That would be bad. Those 2 would do bad things to him.
Yeah.
But, getting your feet wet with Rolly, if he can put out Rolly and make some improvements, I'm here for it. Derek James, awesome trainer. He's working with Joshua. He's been with Errol Spence his whole life. He's doing pretty good with him. So hopefully he can stay with him. Ryan Garcia can just stay in Texas. I think he has been staying in Texas for like the last couple months. So that's good. And I don't know. It's just mental with him, man. I really think he's just not cut out to be at the highest level of this sport. But he's still 25, so time will tell. But I'm out.
I mean, this might be a crazy comparison, but he reminds me of like I don't know, more of the Tommy Fury build of sort of fighter.
Yeah.
Like he's much more talented than him. I'm not trying to disrespect him, but it's more of like I'm a celebrity as opposed to I'm actually like a serious boxer, and he is a serious boxer. He's not to that level, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like he's just not. Something's missing here. There is something seriously missing with his skill set, with his coaching, with the people around him. Because it seems like you said, a lot of the people around him don't even like him, or they're just shitting on him in public. So it's hard to get a grasp of or try to understand. How about?
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of people thought this was going to be like a tune-up fight, or not a tune-up fight. A lot of people thought Golden Boy was trying to sabotage Garcia by giving him this guy in Oscar Duarte, and I was like, no, I don't think this is the sabotage material. This guy's kind of a layup as long as Ryan goes forward. And when he finally did go forward, he stopped throwing his left hook, but he started throwing his right hook, and he threw it very well. Like he has awesome speed, and if he can utilize that jab and he can make that a big part of his game, he's going to be tough to beat, So the skills are there. The potential's there. He's got to get out of his, he's kind of, again, he's still really young. So I think getting famous from a young age and, thinking you were better than you actually were definitely, set him back a little bit. Kind of like the Adrian Broner story, right? But I think he has higher potential than Adrian Broner. His hand speed is pretty crazy, pretty remarkable. And he also has some power, when he moves forward. But the problem is, he's trying to use this Philly shell, dude. He's like a tall, skinny build with narrow shoulders. Floyd Mayweather was short, compact, broad shoulders. Like that, you're the wrong body type for that, bro. You got to go out, fight behind your jab, use your speed, and just be on the offensive. So
I'm happy for him that he was able to get the finish though, because
that's all that matters at the end of the day. That's what people are going to talk about, your finish, because he hit him with one shot to start the 8th, and my man started doing the chicken dance, and then that was it after that. So honestly, a definitely good way to finish the fight.
So, bad news for everyone out there. I know you guys were looking forward to it, but Todd Duffy and Ben Rothwell did not happen this past weekend. I think Rothwell came down with a little bit of an illness. He's under the weather, so he was forced to pull out. But
did you see
what
Todd Duffy said?
No.
He said, I got to bring up the exact quote. I don't want to fuck it up. Hold on. If I can't, he said, Todd Duffy said, I fought with COVID. I know what that's like. That's kind of crazy, first off. And then he said, but I think Rothwell's biggest fight was Thanksgiving, and that's where he lost.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, that is wild and also kind of fun. That's a good one. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I hope Ben Rothwell's okay, but saying you fought with COVID is wild. And getting mad at somebody for not fighting with COVID is also wild. But then saying, basically calling him a fat booze bag during Thanksgiving that didn't want to fight me. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. I can't get mad at that.
The real fight for him, he lost it, was during Thanksgiving. So I wish him the best in returning from Thanksgiving dinner.
Put the mashed potatoes down.
It gets the best of all of us sometimes, but Eddie Alvarez, Mike Perry. Mike Perry is probably the greatest bare knuckle boxer of all time.
Yeah.
And I think he just continues to go out. And I'm not even saying that as a joke. He actually might be the greatest bare knuckle boxer. Like he's built. No one has ever been more built for BKFC than Platinum Mike Perry. And he broke, I think, in 2 different places Eddie Alvarez's orbital bone.
That's crazy, man.
Really, what can you say? He's the best.
Yeah, he was an animal. He was getting hype. He said, "Yeah, I was taking some shots, but that I needed to. I love this shit." And it's crazy. He's only 31, so I mean, he can just keep doing this forever or until his brain rots fully. I guess I don't know, but crazy, man. Eddie was hitting him with some good shots. Eddie came to fight in that first round. He was hitting him hard, but Mike Perry walked through it, and then he took his best shots and gave him his best shots, and that was it. I did think Eddie Alvarez said no mas on the stool, but I don't know why I would have ever thought that. Eddie Alvarez will not quit. His corner saw his eye and said, "Wow, that thing is, that thing looks broken multiple ways. So we're going to stop this fight." And he said, "Yeah, might as well, right?" So, and then his wife comes in the ring. She's kissing him. She's got blood all over her. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. But Mike Perry calls out Conor McGregor.
Yep.
Wow. Conor and BKFC would be crazy, right? That'd probably save the organization from going under. And he'd probably be honestly, he'd probably be a star at BKFC. I feel like that's his thing. I don't know about his getting punched also. I feel like Mike Perry hits him a couple times. Conor's going down. But, dude, get Mike Perry in there with anybody at 175 or wherever. I don't know who the roster fully has. Maybe you get Jeremy Stevens in there. I don't know, but
Darren Till?
The King of Violence title. Yeah, get Darren Till in there.
Darren Till was already kind of angling for it on Twitter, so I absolutely would love to see it. These guys have a little bit of a history. They've sparred a little bit,
and then he asked them to go to the spa.
Yeah, so they've done them both. So I don't see why it wouldn't be a good fight or why it wouldn't be. That's something I'd probably tune into if it wasn't at 12 o'clock on a Saturday night when I've already watched 70,000 fights, but. I don't know why they wouldn't do this on like a Friday night or something when nothing's going on, but I think after football season is where MMA kind of kicks back up and
a lot of filler
takes back over. Yeah, there was a lot of, Beck Rollins takes that L. So
yeah, she got smoked.
Back to WWE like we talked about. Kai Stewart, whoever that is. Mick Terrell.
Good.
Mick Terrell. That guy looks like he just dropped off a fucking pizza at my house last week.
Mick Terrell got the revenge because I saw him in person get smoked by Arnold Adams, and then he comes back in this fight. He was getting beat up early, and I'm like, oh man, this poor fucker. He's going, back to Pizza Hut, and he just turns it around. I guess Arnold Adams was just got tired, and Mick Terrell beat him down into exhaustion, and then Arnold Adams was just on his back, like huffing and puffing, and he wasn't getting up. They kept counting. They were counting to 10, and he looked like he was ready for a nap. Did
you see the cut that Jeremy Stevens put on Jimmy Rivera's face?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was pretty wild. Jimmy Rivera not so didn't do so well. Jeremy Stevens, I guess that's his first fight in BKFC, but not his first bare knuckle fight. Is that? I guess he had a boxing match.
He had a dog now. Oh wow.
Yeah, a couple boxing matches.
So how about we got a couple of these, Jeremy Stevens takes the W. Then you got who? Mike Jones? That's right. Like you said,
who?
Doesn't look like that guy at all. Just some white guy with a chest tattoo. He loses to Eric Lozano. So shout out to that, and shout out to all the Lozanos out there who are involved in stuff. So there you go. There is BKFC. Do you want to talk about, since newsflash to everyone, we will not be having a full preview episode of UFC this upcoming weekend. I will not be in town. I know. You guys, what are you going to do without your breakdown of Song Yadong and Chris Gutierrez? But quickly, if we just want to go through, do you like anything bet-wise like that jumps off the page at you, picks-wise?
Yeah.
I think Khalil Roundtree inside the distance jumps right off at me.
That could happen. Alan Nascimento, I think I like him over Sumajiri. I think he might be able to tap him. Sumajiri has 5 submission losses. Alan Nascimento is very good at 15 submissions of his own. So I think that's a safe bet. It's probably going to be a huge favorite, but Malarkey, Hackbarat, I don't know. These fights are very not great. The prelims, honestly, are almost better than the main card, which is wild. But
They're running Melky and Steve Garcia on this, so they just kind of plug that into here.
Plug and play.
Tatsuro Taira. I'll be honest, I'm not talking about this.
Yeah.
I don't care. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Shoulder Strikes MMA podcast. Thank God we're not doing a show on this because I'd probably lose even more money than I wanted to, and just keep losing and keep losing and keep losing. But now we get a week off. Enjoy the Army-Navy game this weekend. I know everyone will be locked in. Enjoy the Eagles trying to get back their win against the Cowboys. And hammer the under and hammer. You know what? Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, just enjoy life out there, okay? I know all you people out there don't enjoy life sometimes when your Eagles get cooked by the 49ers and you want to, just drive off the bridge, but you don't. You just drive home. Just go out there and enjoy some life this weekend and don't watch these fights. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So my name is Matt McSweeney.
I'm Ty Capone.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, life is too short to bet the unders. So bet the unders and walk away from the television.